Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Excited to be talking to my brother Jeremiah today. I'll say that. I don't know about the topic specifically, but there are definitely topics that need to be hit on. If you have been living underneath a rock, we're going to go over two very important topics that just happened literally a couple of days ago. Number one, if you weren't aware, there was a Donald Trump rally on Sunday in New York City, and they brought out a comedian. The comedian has some choice words and some choice jokes about Latinos, specifically about Puerto Ricans. We're going to be getting into that and how that will affect President or Donald Trump running to be president. We're also going to be talking about Vice President Harris' vow to launch a new Puerto Rico Opportunity Economic Task Force. In the case she wins this election, we're going to be going over that as well. Stick around to the end because it's all going to come together. It's going to make sense. I know we're talking about both sides of the party and you're probably kind of confused, but we're going to pull it together and make it make sense for y'all. And I think this is definitely very important information for y'all to know about. Jeremiah, how you feeling today? How you doing?
I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling like when you have a Coca-Cola and you shake that thing or it falls.
Okay.
That's kind of how it feels right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Okay. So you know what's interesting, y'all? Jeremiah and I typically Sunday, Monday, we'll text each other like, yo, here are some topics we're gonna hit on. We didn't do that. We were just like, yo, we know what we need to hit on. Usually before the call, we say what's up and all that. And we didn't do all that either. We're straight to business today, focus. So look, at a Donald Trump rally this past Sunday, a comedian by the name of Tony Hinchcliffe jokes about Puerto Rico at the former president's Madison Square Garden rally. I thought about playing the video, but I'm not going to do that. Y'all can go ahead and watch it. You can play it if you want. I don't really want to feed into what's been going on as much. I don't want to do the fear mongering and all that. So if y'all want to go watch it, definitely go watch it. Trust me, I thought about playing it. But let's get into this. Like let's get into this discussion. There's a couple of different ways we can go with this. I even thought about making a post on Instagram, and I'll go into why I ultimately decided not to do that. But look, he basically called Puerto Rico a pile of trash in the middle of the ocean, if you haven't heard what he said. And I do want to preference this conversation with, I think Jeremiah can agree with this. I get he's a comedian. I totally get that. I totally get that we're even in a time where people are more sensitive, cancel culture, get all that. Totally get that. Like Jeremiah and us, and both of us grew up in a time where, we play pickup ball, football, whatever in the neighborhood. We talking trash, we going crazy. And I get all
Yeah.
that. But the timing of this joke was terrible. Terrible timing, in my opinion. And by the way, I haven't heard Jeremiah's thoughts on this. He's gonna give his thoughts in a minute. So in my opinion, terrible timing. New York City, the one place you probably don't want to say that type of joke. And if you listen to the video, I listened to the whole 11-minute clip, by the way. Some people were like, did you listen to the whole thing? Yes, I listened to the whole thing. And the part about Puerto Rico, that joke, in my opinion, did not land very well with the audience. It was kind of like, ooh, like, I don't know about that one, right? You can hear it in the crowd. In addition to that, we all know the current relationship with the United States and Puerto Rico. It's kind of a slippery one right now. And in my opinion, if I was part of the Trump administration or a Trump supporter, I would be worried right now. Personally, I would be worried because this could have cost them. We don't know. We'll see. This definitely affects the voters in the middle, the people that are indecisive, the swing states. We all know the Latinos that are pro-Trump, they're gonna vote for him, whether he makes a joke about them or not, right? I totally get that. And the people that are voting for Kamala Harris are gonna vote for her even more now, probably. Um, Pennsylvania, I think, is the state that they're going to be speaking at next, and that's one of the swing states. Big Latino population there, big Puerto Rican population there. And then I'll let you come in here, Jeremiah. And then at the end of all of it, Trump, I think he came out today or yesterday, and he said he didn't even know who the comedian was, which we all know that's cap. If you have somebody on your stage for about 11 minutes long and you don't know who he is, that's to me that's an issue. If you can't tell on the tone of my voice, again, I totally get that it was a joke, but you can't, especially me as a proud Puerto Rican, couldn't feel uh feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Especially the timing of it.
I mean, the timing of it, the actual, uh, the lack of taste, lack of class, stated in the joke. And it's not Dave Chappelle. Like, we grew up with Dave Chappelle's show where Chappelle just jokes on everybody. This group of people in the Madison Square Garden, the jokes they were doing were towards minorities only. I didn't hear them make a joke about white hillbillies or white trailer trash. I didn't hear any of that, and I'm not saying you should ever joke about people at all, whatever, right? But I want to just clarify that it wasn't in the fun of joking, like literally. And I use Dave Chappelle because that's a perfect example. He's gonna make a joke about everyone. He makes a joke about Chinese, black people, white. Like, it's just across the board, making jokes. Everyone laughs, make jokes about everyone. This wasn't that, and it's not oversensitivity. It was a lack of respect that was shown. We talk about this, and I say always on this show, we just try to stay just in the middle. We don't either way, however, whatever. We just, and I told you that that's very difficult for me now. It's very difficult for me to remove, and I'm not an emotional person, but it's difficult to remove the emotions and look at it objectively, just based upon the conversation that was had. And then I saw where Trump came out and said he didn't know who the guy was, and I mean that's par for the course for Trump. You catch him in something, I don't even know what that but it's funny. We talked about it. This, although it's something very negative, this could end up turning out to be exactly what Kamala Harris needed, because it was kind of like it was just in that kind of make or break type time, right? And it just seems like the Trump administration, they're so arrogant that it just didn't matter. And they, like, I could say whatever I want to say, or they weren't actively aware of the weight of these, of these decisions and the people that you say and the things and where you say it and all these things that are happening. So I don't know if they're fully aware of it. I don't know who his counsel is.
I heard
Go ahead.
My bad, not to cut you off. I heard, just to add this in there, I read a report that Trump looked at some of the jokes.
Oh, he okayed them. I know.
Yeah, so what they said, that he took a peek at some of the jokes, but you don't just peek at the joke. You know what I'm saying? You read the whole thing.
I mean, this goes back to Central Park 5. If you watch the movie, if you don't know what that is, go back and read it. This goes back to anybody that's ever lived in New York. You know that Trump is a slumlord. These are all just various things that have already been attributed to this man's character. I try to look at it from an objective point of view of what's best for economically for the country. But then I went and it's funny. I saw a video the other day with John Hope Bryant, and he actually broke down who makes the most money, the Democrats or the Republicans. It went a different way. It wasn't Trump's way, right? And so you kind of just sit, and that's by the numbers. It wasn't opinion. It was just numbers. And I said, and I thought, like, dang, I look at Yahoo Finance, and they're talking about the tariffs that,
you sent me that
Trump is proposing, the weight of those and the cost of those tariffs. And the majority of those tariffs and the heavy weight of those tariffs and what it would cost the United States are in red states. It's
Right.
actually in the South. It's in the
The South.
Midwest and the South where they lose the most jobs. It costs them the most. It changes the standard of living for these people. And it just gets me to thinking, like, we already know Donald Trump thinks what he thinks. We know he doesn't care much about anyone of color.
Correct.
Got it. He plays to that. There's a large group of people here in this country that agree with him. Got it. No problem. We know the way people feel. My question is more to the Latinos and the Blacks that are still aligned with this person. It's kind of mind-boggling at this point. It's like Stockholm syndrome, and I think we talked about this, but it's Stockholm syndrome, and I'm not canceling out Kamala Harris and what she's done. There's the prison in her early years as a prosecutor. There's her putting brothers in prison. I'm not canceling any of that out, but at some point you got to look at it and see which is what's the, I guess, the lesser of two evils.
Right.
It's kind of where you're at this point.
100%.
You know, and if someone keeps spitting in your face, do you vote for that person if they keep spitting in your face? Right? Because then it's on you. Then it's like you're insane almost because this person is abusing you and spitting on you and telling you they don't want you here and all these things. And then you still align with this person. That's weird. That's a very weird behavior. I don't know. That's just me. I'm putting it out there. I like I said, I always try to stay objective. Following this past weekend, though, that's very difficult for me. I don't see how I could campaign or even say too much positive for Trump.
Right.
It hit in a different space. I just came back from Puerto Rico. We talked about that. I'm literally just fresh back from Puerto Rico. I'm literally fresh from my hood and seeing the streets and how things are changing. But then, yes, things are still the same. I'm still seeing poor people. I still see people in the projects. I'm just back from that. I'm seeing Puerto Rico. I'm seeing everybody in the streets trying to struggle. But then I see the beauty of my people. I see old San Juan and how beautiful it is. I see, just our culture and how we embrace everybody. You're at the store and people tell you, have a good day. Like, I see all these different things. And then kind of like sum it up as just saying we're all trash. I don't know. It's kind of just hitting a different way for me. But I will say this. I'll say this. Kamala, I hope you and and I'm sure they are, but I hope you and your candidates, your pundits, your council, you're seeing this, and I hope that you're realizing how to properly handle this situation, and that he just gave you a gift, right? He just gave you probably one of the best gifts that any other opponent could give you, and it's literally a war cry, a freaking foundation to help you get to the place to where you want to go, which is the presidency. I'm sure they're going to use it. I hope they do. I mean, it's a viable problem, but what do you think, Chris?
No, so you're right. He gave her an alley-oop. You know that picture of D Wade and Bron? He like
the old one without the statue face, right?
That's another podcast. That's another episode. 100%. Yes. The old one, we can get into that as well right now. As soon as all that went viral on Sunday, you had a couple Latinos come out, like J-Lo posted something was cool. Bad Bunny,
Perez, Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny posted that video today. Shout out, and like every time, I respect Bad Bunny a lot because he's a true man of the people. You know what I'm saying? He's relatable. He's a true man of the people. No matter how big we may think he is, like he's still one of us. I don't know if I can say that about.
Shouts out to Dean with us, our brother.
Yes.
Also,
shout out to him as well.
Shout
out to him as well. Not to get too far off topic, but he posted a video that was very interesting about some creator that made an AI video about the trash in Puerto Rico. And Dean was like pausing every single. Maybe I'll pull that up. How about I pull that up?
We should play that because he debunked the guy. It was a lie. The video was a lie.
It was a complete lie. I'll definitely pull that up. I do have something else I want to pull up after this. Let me see this video.
Hey guys, we're gonna go a little bit longer today. If obviously you see I told Chris, I was like, bro, we got to go a little bit longer today. They got to stand us a little bit longer.
Overflowing landfills are a daily sight, and it's not just an eyesore, it's a health hazard. The current administration poured billions of dollars into fixing this crisis.
That stutter shock footage is from the Carpathians of Ukraine, filmed by this photographer, not Puerto Rico.
Corruption runs deep, leading to multiple...
We don't drive trucks like these in Puerto Rico. And if you look at this box right here in that same image, it's not Spanish. That language is Khmer, spoken in Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. Further proof that this video wasn't in Puerto Rico either.
Arrests. Local officials who were supposed to manage relief funds were caught red-handed.
PNP.
Imagine the impact on ordinary citizens.
This is also stutter shock footage filmed by this photographer. This is actually from the town called Nyangong in the country of Myanmar, not Puerto Rico.
Communities are left to deal with the toxic fallout.
This is a package directly from China. Due to the Jones Act with Puerto Rico, we're not allowed to receive goods directly from other countries. Anything that gets shipped to Puerto Rico has to get shipped to the United States first, then has to get repackaged, reboxed with the American approval, then shipped to Puerto Rico. So this wasn't in Puerto Rico either.
It's time for accountability and real change.
That's the flag of Nigeria. The guy who made this video wanted to let it be known he's from Florida. His profile picture is nothing but USA military jet, and his content is consistent of AI-generated videos prying on conspiracy theories. I can guarantee you he's not Puerto Rican at all, and he just wanted attention. And guess what? He's gonna get it. Robert Kerner lives in South Florida, most likely in the Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood area. Spends a lot of time fishing, and white man. Who would have thought? Robbie, if you don't want any more information of you released, do me a favor and take down that video. I see you spend a lot of time in the water, and I would absolutely hate for some island trash to destroy that very expensive equipment you have. Ciao.
It's messy and it's more than...
Oh man, you gotta love Dean. You gotta love Dean.
Listen, that is my brother. To the end, we share very similar. I think we dang near share the exact same political view, because it ain't time to get into that. But I will say this is that, thank you, Dean. Man, you and Bianca, you guys, everyone that's out there in Puerto Rico that's actively showing what's going on and keeping people, informed and debunking stuff that's coming out. It's very important that people understand what Puerto Rico has gone through. We may need to do a whole episode of the history of Puerto Rico and basically what has been inflicted by the United States, from genetic testing to syphilis to gonorrhea that has been affected into the women, sterilizing women in Puerto Rico, also the bombing of Vieques, the test bombs and things. There's so much stuff. Listen, it's important that people understand it's not just the country itself is whatever it is. A lot of what's happening to Puerto Rico is based upon, or the cause and effect, right? The effect of a cause, which is them being owned by the United States. I'm just saying, it is what it is. So to call it garbage is just crazy, man. But thank you, Dean.
Yeah, and look, we wanted to show that because I think I seen in the corner that video had at the time like 50,000 views. So that's 50,000 people potentially that don't know about Puerto Rico. If they're following this man, and that's going to be their perception about it. So now when you have somebody that comes on a platform and makes a joke, they're going to think it's funny. They're going to think, oh, this is true. This is, this is what it is. That's not the truth, right? So shout out to Dean for making that, debunking that. I mean, look, we can do a whole nother conversation around AI and just like how we need to continue to just watch out for it and do our due diligence, right? That's something that we always preach about. So crazy, man. It's a crazy couple of days. It's been wild, man. It's a lot to process.
What's crazy though? It is. But like we said, it's literally a gift wrap for the other side, right? Yeah. It's like a literal gift wrap. And then perfect segue, the fact that all these lies and the things that they're telling, and then to come with someone who has an actual plan, right? Yep. And not saying that she's telling the truth or that she's gonna whatever, right? But like, Chris, how is that? How did you feel seeing that? And
so I was going to say, like, I think I said earlier, the timing of that is absolutely impeccable. Yeah. Like the same day it went viral. I don't know if they just had that in their clip ready to go, But
They did.
Vice President Harris vowed to launch a new Puerto Rico Opportunity Economic Task Force. I'm going to show the post that she posted on IG. It was a video. As like this stuff was going viral, Jeremiah sent me another video of Kamala Harris. Basically, everything I'm going to show in this slideshow, she was talking about in this video. And I mean, look, this is a plan. This is a plan for Puerto Rico, whether y'all think that it's gonna work or not. That's we'll get into that in a second. I did make a post about this, but before we go into the post I made about this piece of content, let's go ahead and check out what she posted. So Kamala Harris will build an opportunity and economy for Puerto Rico. All right. And shout out to their team, I will say, because they have been posting really consistent content. And they had this in the clip ready to go the day that all this went down with the Trump rally. They had this ready to go. Right. So here is basically what they're going to be looking forward to build up. Launch a federal task force to rebuild and revitalize Puerto Rico's economic strength determined by the Puerto Rican people. Rebuild and modernize Puerto Rico's energy grid to ensure reliable access to electricity. Expand Puerto Rico's family access to clean energy. Provide access to housing that Puerto Rican families and workers can afford. Support Puerto Rican equal access to key federal benefit programs. Advance health services delivery in Puerto Rico. One more slide. Invest in Puerto Rican colleges and universities to train doctors, teachers, and more. Build the industries of the future. Build the industries of the future in Puerto Rico, like biosciences and manufacturing. Provide loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 for Puerto Rican entrepreneurs and others to start and grow a business. Enhance access to banking and lending to help Puerto Ricans build wealth. Last two, expand bilingual education and literacy. Invest in Puerto Rican artists and creators. Before Jeremiah gets in here, is that fully forgivable loan. We just literally just spoke about how she's going to propose that for Black entrepreneurs and also Latino entrepreneurs in the United States. So this is what she proposed. Again, this came out the same day all that chaoticness came out. Again, this is a solution. This is the plan.
It's a plan. And I mean, we're going to get into it because we got to speak on the post, because I'm just appalled. I love my people, but man, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, Puerto Rico. But it's a plan. I need people to understand something. It matters if they complete their plan, right? If they come through with what they're saying, but it matters first and foremost. You can't come through with something without a plan. People are all, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. The other side doesn't even have a plan.
They don't have
Their
a plan.
plan is to insult you, right? To spit on you verbally and to treat you like trash and a second-rate citizen. And at least this person came with a plan. And I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying they're going to do it. But at least they have a plan. That's important. And the fact that they could throw it up as soon as it happens, that was already created. It wasn't they weren't reacting to what was said during the Trump rally. They already had it created. And you can tell by looking at the points. Some of them are, flim flam, but like there's solid meat on both of those slides that they were like, oh, they actually sat and thought about this. When she went to Puerto Rico, I'm hoping that she got some counsel, like something, right? But that stuff was legit. Everything dang near that she named on her list is strong, horrible issues that we deal with on the island. Like it's relative and it's on point. So I don't know, man. I mean, the people, they just threw that up because and it's just like, nah, like, but it's a plan, and the other side doesn't even have a plan. So I don't know, Chris. It's weird.
It's definitely weird, and I totally get the whole. She's been in office for 4 years. What she didn't, whatever.
But she hasn't. She was a vice president. And if
True.
anybody understands, the problem is people don't understand legislative process. They don't understand the legislative due process. You don't understand the way things are passed. If a Democratic vice president has a Republican House and Senate, the bills are not going to get passed.
Mm-hmm.
But these are things that you're not speaking on. It's not that, oh, they could have done this and that. Actually, we all know Sleepy Joe is sleepy. But Biden, his main thing he said was, I'm going to get college loan forgiveness. And they stuck to that. And they did a lot of it. And so what I'm saying is even fighting through bipartisan, you have to get bipartisan support, right? Which is Democrat and Republican. But even fighting through that, it takes time. So for people to be like, she's been in there 4 years. She was a vice president. She wasn't even the president. She couldn't veto anything. She couldn't she's the president of the Senate. In certain instances, I understand all this, but what I'm telling you is that you got to dig deeper into how politics works. And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
100%. And I do agree with you. Like, these are some very, very solid policies. Even if she did 4 of them, like even if 4 of them went through, 3 of them, I mean,
It's 4 years. If she does 4 of them, she does 2 of them. It totally changes the island. If you focus just on the power, right, which is something we've talked about, renewable energy and clean energy. If you did that and then you made sure that the universities and business owners could get $20K unforgivable loans, it would totally change the island. And that's 4 things out of that whole entire list. And people can't tell me that it wouldn't change the island. And if you're telling me that, it's because you haven't been back. When was the last time you went home? When's the last time you walked through the streets and saw what was happening?
Yeah.
It's not one telling you, but you going back and seeing what's actively happening. I know those 4 things would totally change Puerto Rico. But
100%.
You know how it is. Everything you can do 99 things well. The one time you don't do something well, everybody discounts and discredits you.
It discredits you, 100%. Speaking about discredit, now they weren't necessarily discrediting the Latin Wealth platform, but we made the post. I'm just like, yo, my mental health can't handle this right now, bro. Like,
I was going. And by the way,
I know you were. I know, but you know what? I know, but look, let me say this. Let me just say this. So I made the post. I basically wanted to make the post about what just came out with the plan.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, this is a couple things that came out. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinion. I know when I say that, that just opens the floodgate for people to say what they want, which is cool. That's fine. But it's a problem when it gets disrespectful. Now, shout out to Jeremiah. You were holding your ground. Even Carlos texted me. He was like, yo, shout out to Jeremiah doing his thing. I think you were offline for a second. Like, I think literally when you got off for like an hour or whatever, like I was in there checking every 5 minutes, deleting comments. And me, like, I'll leave most of it. I usually don't ever delete comments. Like people have said some nasty things to me in the DM, and I'm just like, whatever. But I just can't tolerate the disrespect to one another. I don't think they were necessarily coming at you, but it was a lot of like, man, like I don't want to be another creator in this space just trying to stir up views and likes. Because if I'd have let that do what it did, like within the first 2 hours, it had over almost 4,000 views. And if I would have made a post about the whole joke and whatnot, I'd have got more views. We would have got more views and whatnot. But that's not what I want us to be about. And ultimately, I decided to take that post down. And especially like if I see people that are making comments towards Jeremiah or just anybody, I remember we had that post with Urban Teach go viral. They were saying stuff to her, and I wasn't letting that fly. So that's my 2 cents on it. That's why I took it down. Again, we're typically chill about people having their opinions. It's cool. I really don't care. But when it gets disrespectful, like we can't talk.
It's just weird. It's weird, and it's weird. It's really weird energy too. I checked the comments when they started doing that. Even like when we did the clean energy one, and they're coming and and in Spanish they're telling me I ain't nothing, and why do you know, and gringo this and gringo that, and so I respond in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm from ABCD, and then they shut up. And it's like, no, I'm not talking out my butt. This isn't just, I know I speak perfect English, but I
Right.
speak perfect Spanish too, right? Like, it's just, it's so weird, the energy that comes in there. And then it almost gets like racist at some point. Then it starts to be, they call you names, and then they start doing all that. And I'm just like, dude, I
Yeah,
understand now
unbelievable.
why you guys align with what you align with, because listen to your rhetoric. Instead of coming out of understanding and saying, hey, I don't agree with that, I think this is going on. But like, I think before you were deleting, but I even saw some comments like
Yeah.
very derogatory towards Kamala. And I'm
Hmm.
just kind of sitting there and I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, it's
Yeah.
so weird to me to see Puerto Ricans speaking in this manner. Because if people don't know, by the way, guys, you see Chris. Chris is a yellow, light-skinned guy, right? And then you see me, I'm darker skinned. Guys, there's people in Puerto Rico that's midnight black. And then there's
Hmm.
people with blue eyes and blonde hair. We come
Hmm.
in all different shades and we're all Boricua and we have the same background. It's
Hmm.
Taino, it's African, and it's Spanish. So in your same family, mom and dad, you'll have 3 to 4 different colors of kids. And it's the same parents. This is something normal. So it's weird to me when I see Boricua come out of the woodwork with racist rhetoric. It's
Hmm.
very strange to me. I don't understand because your grandma's probably black. And so
For
it's a little
sure.
weird to me, like,
Very good
and I
chance.
don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's just weird. Like when I've seen a lot and I just kind of like, dude, where is this coming from? Or
Mm.
are you not happy with yourself? Are you not proud of where we come from? Are you trying to be something else? Like, it's just a lot of questions that I end up having, because the disrespectful comments and things that come, it's never based on actual fact or presenting something that's important, or we never disrespect anyone. It's always something just disrespectful, race related, calling people stupid, saying all kinds of things. And it's I don't know, man. That's weird
Yeah.
behavior, you
It
know?
definitely is. It definitely is weird behavior, and it's funny because like I always use me, you, and Carlos as the perfect example of like, yo, this is what Puerto Ricans
There it
look
is.
like.
No, no, it's perfect. No, that is the
You know
perfect
what I'm saying?
example.
You
You got
got
low, so you think you
yeah,
would not think, and then you okay, right? And then they're like, oh, the Chris looks like what I think. Okay, cool.
yeah,
And then you got me like, oh, he's black.
yeah.
Like, and you got the whole bro, that's so perfect. Freaking perfect. All Puerto Rican. And it is every shade.
No,
And then there's
every
one more.
no,
Like
for
there's a
sure.
darker, there's a
Yeah.
black, they're like midnight black people.
And
It's
like you
just
said, there's blonde hair, blue eyes. You can
what
go
it is.
even one more that way too.
One more
So
that way. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. So look, we can continue with this conversation all day. But what I want to kind of end on is how does this make you feel overall, Jeremiah? Like what is your biggest takeaway from these past couple days, from the joke to the plan by Kamala Harris to our own people, going crazy in the comments? I think ultimately for me, I'll let you jump in after this motivates me even more to continue to step up and do our part with this platform. Even Los reached out and in a nutshell said that we have to continue to be the people that are not fear mongering, not causing the fear, but are the platform that people are going for information and and to be educated. And that's ultimately what I want to continue to do.
I agree. It tells me that we're in the right space. When we did the renewable energy topic, and I saw all that came from that, I knew we're tapping into the right
Yeah.
space. I know we're in the right area. Just
Mhm.
continue to bring the information to the people. I'd be lying if I said that for the longest I've stayed objective. I've always just tried to be in the middle. I don't go political ever. Like seriously, I'm more focused on money. I don't ever
Yeah.
really focus on who, what, or where. But I think I took a what I noticed is, and based upon the past couple of days and everything, and the plan and everything, sometimes you have to pick a side.
Mm.
You can't play neutral all the time.
Yeah.
And finances, it's great, but then there's human, right? And the most precious resource we have is human life, human decency.
Yeah.
Um, so it made me choose a side. I think it's quite obvious which side I had to choose. There's only, I try to stay just middle, right? And I'm still worried about money, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, there's just some decent people. And then and I'm like, well, I really don't want it. And then boom, it's like there's a plan. And I'm like, well, crap, you were already thinking about us.
Mm.
You kind of already have this set. I don't know. I mean, so what I got from it is sometimes you have to choose a side. Sometimes you have to be direct. Sometimes you got to draw that line and stick with whatever it is on that line. I know people, when I saw the responses, I know there are a lot of Puerto Ricans that are very angry. And all it is, that comes from a place of hurt.
Mm.
And what I would tell you is to address your hurt and let's work to find solutions. This is what we've always said. Let's work with people like myself, people like Jason Negron. Let's work with Dean Huertas. Let's work with Bianca. Let's work with Chris. Let's work with Lowe's. Let's work with people that are seeking to make the difference. And we're not trying to do politics as usual. Work with us. If you want to find initiatives, if you want to find things that you can get involved with to help the island progress, then let's do that. Or let's create those things. But let's not just sit and be hurt and say things and make hurtful comments and let's not do that. Let's be better than the other side or even the side that you like. If you're on that side, then you should still want to be a better human. And let's try to grow and actively create a space to where we can make a better Puerto Rico. And that's for all my Puerto Rican. If you're not Puerto Rican and you don't care, that's okay. I get it. It doesn't even matter to you. Completely understand. But do understand, it's Puerto Rico today. It could be Colombia tomorrow, right? It's Dominican Republic the next day. It's Ecuador after that. It's Panama after that. So just understand, right? Care about your fellow Latinos. We care about you guys, and I appreciate the comments. I do. I appreciate your comments. Keep viewing, keep giving us what you think. But let's work together to heal, and let's work together to progress.
100%. You said I have to just hit on a couple of things you said. You said it could be, Colombia tomorrow, it could be Cuba the next day. I think that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing on this platform, because if it is y'all tomorrow, we're going to be there to support y'all tomorrow
100%.
and cover whatever's going on and talk about it, right? And I do want to hit on what you said about building up Puerto Rico, building up PR, whether you are left or right. That don't really matter if you want to see Puerto Rico excel. I think there's some common ground that we can find, and there's different ways that we can collaborate, whether you like the Yankees, I like the Dodgers, you blue, white, whatever, it don't matter. Like, if we want to see the progression of Puerto Rico, there has to be some common ground. There has to be something that we can collaborate on. If it's like, yo, we can't talk about politics, cool, let's put that to the side. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on business, finance. Like, these are things that we can definitely collaborate on.
For sure. And at the end of the day, it's about the human currency, right? It's not currency is great. I love money. Y'all know this. It's Latin wealth, right? This is the basis of our platform: financial literacy, financial education. But at the end of the day, what's more important is humans. What's more important is people. Over money, over everything is people, right? And we're looking to build people. And if you're looking to build people, we can find that commonality. We can find synergistic ideas on building people. Any problem?
That's it. It's the Latin Wealth family. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.